2, 1.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Hexagon TTRPG. I'm Brent, and I'm thrilled to have you join us for today's adventure. We're diving into another episode of our actual play for the title that I can never remember now, which is Progenitors Awakening Remaster Remix 2.75, the sequel that is the prequel. So grab your dice, settle in, and let's roll. Make sure to say hi in chat, and if you're new here, hit that follow button, stay in the loop. You can also catch up on past episodes and more content over on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and Threads, all at the Hexagon TTRPG. Let's get this game started. CJ and Simon, how y'all doing tonight?
Not too bad.
Pretty good. Pretty excited.
I'm excited too. Despite two of our players not being here, unfortunately, fortunately for them maybe, since they get to go somewhere cool out in the world. I won't dox them. I don't know if that. Can you dox somebody if they're in not
Another
their
place that they're not. They can't get stalked.
They could get stalked, so we won't say anything. But what we will say is what happened last time on Dimensionauts. Oh, last time on Dimensionauts. We started the episode with Quinn in a station up in the sky, talking to basically the commander of the station, Enoch, which is a callback from one of the other campaigns of Dimensionauts, for those of you who aren't in the know. And then there was Ancalagon, which is a callback to a home game of Dimensionauts for probably no one who was on that stream except myself. And you found out about the problem of universals, which is a real-life metaphysics problem, but that is something that they were studying at the station. You found out that the experiment is in danger. You found out about underworlders who were maybe invading. And Quinn got a mission to infiltrate, stop the underworlders, save the experiment, maybe save some of the fallen, or at least eject them from the experiment so that they didn't cause too much trouble or damage, and save some of these what Enoch called enhanced beings to help humanity enter its next era of development. So that brought us back down to the enhanced beings who were getting tortured in a laboratory. But at least they had each other. But that did not stop me from killing almost all of the NPCs that you've met so far in some brutal ways. That left us at the end of this session, I think, that the laboratory collapsed partially, rubble, the party split. Quinn and Luke. No, it's gonna come back to me. It's hard when I don't have people in front of me. Quinn and Tomas split off, and then we had only Otto and Wiln on this side of the rubble. And I've set up a mood board of what it looks like in a derelict, collapsed underground laboratory. It's basically just a bunch of hallways that all look the same and are creepy. So I think that's where we'll settle in. Water dripping. That's not the sound of water. Bloop, bloop, bloop.
So there's water coming in.
There's water coming in. You see like pooling in like certain sections of the floor, like pipes have burst, little electrical sparks coming off, lights like flicker. I think the lighting in here has always been this like glow of white, and that's gone. Now we have emergency lighting, and it's basically the lights are like more spread out. They're like lighting just enough so that a human could see. But I think that for the two of you, I think Otto especially, you might be able to see a little bit better in the dark, and so it's not so bad. The collapse has happened. The dust is just settling. The two of you are here. And you hear nothing from the other side. The wall of rubble looks thick and solid behind you.
Goodness. You all right, Will?
What just happened? I didn't think the walls are so weak.
This is a curious situation we find ourselves in. You and I separated from the others. Let's listen. I'll put my ear up to the rubble.
You put your ear up to the rubble, and there's some faint vibrations here. I think if you want to learn anything more discerning through the vibrations, as if they were the strands of your web, then I will need you to roll an intellect. And I'll need you to I'll need an investment of 2 points of intellect to kind of like reach out a little bit with that magic.
Okay, I'll do it. I'll do it.
If you have an edge, you can subtract your edge, and then
Hold on, just in case Diana watches this over because she's new. Let's go through let's go through.
absolutely,
So from my
ahead.
pool,
You do it, yeah.
I can subtract. You said 1 point or 2 points?
So I said it is a 2-point cost to attempt this in a magical way. You don't have to do it in a magical way, so you can do it in a regular way.
I will. And then I have 1 edge in intellect. So what does that give me?
So it decreases the overall cost to 1 from your pool.
Beautiful.
I should say it decreases it by 1 to 1.
And this edge can only be applied once per roll, is what I remember.
Yeah, once per action, once per point calculation, pool
Wonderful.
calculation.
Since
Is this an instant he can use effort, or
He could if he wished.
but that would also use more points?
It would.
let's use effort. So what is effort? The maximum I have is 1.
So effort costs, I believe it's 3 points for the first effort you use, and then 2 for every one after. If you have an edge, usually it does subtract from that, but you've already used your edge for this transaction, which means that using effort in this case will cost a total of 3 more points.
Wonderful. I will use it.
My goodness. All right. You've
So
taken
that's 5
something.
points spent and 1 lowered by 1 from effort, from what I calculate.
Beautiful. And what I am giving to you in return for all of this point spending, this was a challenging task. Putting in effort reduces it to difficult, and then putting the points in to use some magic in this case and basically feel out, using your progenitor, your enhanced being traits, it reduces it down to difficult, demanding, which makes it a target number of 9.
Okay.
Got this.
I do that. Don't I?
Of course.
And reminding everyone, fail by 5 or succeed by 5. You get a little bit extra.
Bit of 9. 14.
Hey, succeed by
14.
5.
5 exactly. Incredible. So, first things first, you succeed. Wilm, you see Otto clamber up into the rubble a little bit. I think, Otto, how do you approach this with your magic?
Could I simply kind of make my hands, and like it's through magic, so it's not actual sticky, but I'm like sticking to the rubble, and like the rubble is sticking to itself in the places that I touch. So I'm able to like hoist myself on it without loosening all of the rubble. Kind of like these points of like just contact where I put my hands. And it's not enough to like hold up a building, but it's just enough to hold up my weight. So it's not like a game breaking kind of ability.
So you see Otto climb so delicately but surely onto the rubble, and it seems like he has laid himself in such a way that he's one with the rubble, and he starts receiving the vibrations that the rubble is receiving. Succeeding by more than 5, you place yourself perfectly within these vibrations. And I think that as you close your eyes for a second, you kind of blink and receive this information. It's almost as if it was your webs, and I think in your own web, it was like if something walked on it, you would know if it had 2 feet or 4 feet, right? If it was, heavier or lighter, if it was wearing shoes or was furred. So you start to get that kind of inkling of knowledge from above. There's something on fire, a big fire, but there's also many people running, many legs going. There is, I think, closer to you, like it sounds to you like very loud sounds, intermittently in places, a bit like chaotically. And I think further away, there's something that feels like a drum, and it's just like a boom, boom, but it misses beats sometimes. So it's not like a rhythmic, it's a little arrhythmic.
And this is not like a sound that the building makes usually that I would like hear vibrations of.
I think everything I'm describing is new. Like before, it would have been like walking people. Like if you
Mhm.
were, in your enclosure, this is what you would have been hearing outside the enclosure, right? Is like walking and talking, and maybe an alarm went off. And like this is like these loud sounds are, not alarms, or maybe in some cases they are, but they're blaring. They're not the same kinds of things.
Oh, goodness. Well, there's chaos on the other side of this wall. There's a irregular beat, almost like a drum, and
And
fire.
that might mean that Tomas and Quinn are in danger. We need to find our way either past this or a way to get out of here and find them help.
I think the way out might be the best. This wall could cause more damage if we try and tear it down.
Raise a good point. Okay. I guess there's only one way to go. The other way.
Will, as you look towards this other hallway, there's a bit of a haze in the air here. And you can see, I think, immediately that the dust from the collapse when you first had coughed had kind of floated up in the air, and it had kind of like settled near where you are.
Okay.
Towards where the hallway is, it seems to not be settled. In fact, it seems to be kind of like swirling a little bit in the light that's shining through here. And you hear from the other side, all of a sudden, just some weak
Someone's here. Someone's alive.
Hello?
Yeah, I'll go towards that cough.
well, you feel it start to get a little bit harder to breathe, a little bit constricting, as you near this kind of like hallway intersection.
How thick? I mean, because I know I'm coughing, but like, how thick is this substance?
It's not thick at all. You can see right through it. It just looks like dust particles in the air. But it's when you try to breathe it in, it's like your body is immediately trying to reject this. It's like there's some sort of substance here that is just not good.
I'm of a mind to try and burn it away, but I don't want some sort of explosion to occur either.
No one knows your fire better than you. What do you think?
Well, it's more, I don't know how we will react with this.
Yes.
Because dust and fire don't go well. But this is different. It could still be very bad. I'll keep it in my back pocket for now.
Do you think it will
let's
harm
go
us to move through it?
I think it might if we stay long. So let's move quick. See where that goes.
As we move forward, if you cover your mouth a little bit, so Otto, like you would see like right away that like it helps a little bit, like you're able to breathe while you go. As soon as you look around the corner from here, you see that there is a person pinned to the wall and to the floor, with what looks like this like steel, like kind of like jagged beam that's collapsed out of the ceiling. You've never seen this person before. They kind of have blondish hair, like neck length, glasses that are cracked, a petite kind of looking woman. And she's wearing one of the white lab coats, and it says doctor, but you can't read the name because there's blood covering it. And she seems to have been stabbed through kind of like in the gut area and is pinned against the wall and floor.
Ooh. Why?
She coughs.
We're wearing like some sort of like lab attire, right? Like not like lab coats or anything, but like they provided us with like basic clothing.
They did, yeah. It's like a grayish with like like the line, almost like a tracksuit looking.
Like I just want to take like the shirt and like kind of like cover my mouth with it, and attempt to use that as kind of like a sort of mask for now, not to cover like who I am, but just to block the worst of the whatever smoke or debris is like floating in the air. I'm gonna go over. I might be. I'm gonna try and use very very fine control, and see if I could like superheat one of my fingers to try and almost like cut through the beam.
Okay. I'm going to require the same thing that I required of Otto, which is an investment of 2 points of intellect to focus that magic. And then, do you have a specific move that you want to be using, or is this going to be like a free form use?
Well, because I have an ability that it's called onslaught, that I can either use short range using energies that assail either physical form or mind. It's like a force blast. It attack is mental. You focus your mental energies into a mind slice, or like the way I see it is that like it's more of like my flames being used as like
Mm-hmm.
a blast of flame or like some sort of cloak, because I also have shroud of flame, so your entire body becomes shrouded in flames that last up to 10 minutes. But like if I only wanted to like concentrate it on like a finger to like again soldering iron through something.
Okay, so does the ability have a cost?
1 intellect point.
Perfect. So I think it costs you 1 intellect to do the ability, and I'm going to require 1 more point to not do it as a big blast like you're trying to do it so controlled in this moment, right?
Okay. So I do have 1 edge in intellect, so that'll bring it down to 1 point used.
Okay.
And I have an ability called magic training the basics of magic. So would that allow me to kind of like understand what I'm trying to do and make it any easier?
What I'll say is that you're able to focus your slice into, the superheated digit, and you can start to go through it. It will require a roll if you would like to do this quickly.
Mhm.
But if you just go slow, I don't think there's any roll required. You have the ability, and you spent the points to be able to use it.
Okay, I'm going to try and go quickly and use an effort to do so.
Okay.
So a plus 2 cost to the points, making it a total of 3, but adding an effort to it.
Perfect. And then being trained in magic, and with the effort, your target number is 6.
Okay. That's an 8.
So that beats it. You cut through, and I think as you cut through, she's freed slightly, but you feel the entire beam starting to shift down towards her again. I think Otto, you're the one in this moment who basically, I think, like Wiln is there. Wiln has this doctor, has cut through, and is basically able to like start pulling her out of the way. But Otto, you have a second to react here to potentially help.
Do I have enough time to gather if it's going to fall on, if there's a possibility that it's going to fall on Will? Has he put himself in like the path of this thing by?
I'll say because you have like a step away of perspective, Wilm, you see the steel beam sliding. Otto, you see the ceiling buckling.
I'm going to try and pull Wilm. So like go up behind him, grab and pull, and be like, the ceiling, it's falling. And like as I'm pulling you. So I'm not really giving you enough time to react to what I'm saying, but letting
Perfect.
you know why I'm touching you.
Have I cut through at this point, or am I
Cut
still in the
through,
process?
and you have hold of this doctor.
So as he's pulling, I'm pulling her, and we're just all like going. Okay.
So this is what we're going to try and do. So Wilm, you're holding her, and I think roll me a speed. This is going to be only demanding to get the doctor out of the way of the steel kind of like pipe coming down.
Okay.
Do you have anything that would help you? This is
This is
Wilm.
not
This
my
is Wilm
forte.
doing this. This is the first part of the chain reaction.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yeah. So
God.
I've been notified of the ceiling buckling. I see the steel beam sliding, and I am focused on saving this doctor. I'm going to be milking the shit out of my focus asset. Can I use that skill as I'm trained in incredible focus or concentration?
I think when focus and concentration requires a little bit of time, and you don't have this time in this moment.
True. I specifically went quick to go through the beam. Okay, fair. So I'll just, I guess, roll then at that point to see if I can do what I
Yep.
can.
If you want to use effort, you have to tell me now, and then it would reduce the target number to 6.
What kind of roll is it before I
This is a speed roll.
speed roll? Do I have? An effort is 2 points?
3.
3. Ooh. That might be rough. But I think I'm gonna do it just in case they have some information that I'm able to use. So I will spend the effort to try and make the speed roll easier.
Okay.
So the roll, it's a 15.
All right. Target roll was 6. That's a 15. You succeed with style. You pull the doctor, and I think in this case, you're going to kind of like grab her close and like hold the beam, and it makes it just a little bit easier for Otto then to grab both of you and throw his weight back to try and get you all out of here.
Throw
So
it
instead
back,
of being,
Otto.
sorry,
I said throw it back, Otto. That's all.
throw it back, Otto. But it does go from for you, it started at demanding. It was going to be challenging for Otto to get both of you out, but now it is only going to be difficult. That is a target number of 12.
God. I'll be real with you. I don't know how much I have to give into this roll. My God. What? It's a speed or a might?
This is a speed roll. You had the perspective. I think it still has to be a speed roll. It's more of a maneuver than it really is the, like, you know, it's almost like a, can you pull their centers of gravity into your falls to get out of the way?
Yeah.
So
I would let you do might if
it's the same
you
thing.
get hit by the rubble. And that's basically you throw them but you don't move.
No.
just a finagly question here. Does Otto have like the sticky pads like Spider-Man kind of thing? No, you can't just like it's like helping your grip pulling us. Okay.
No asset there.
I'll use an effort
Ooh.
for speed.
All right, target number goes down to 9.
Nope. Failed it by 5.
What'd you get?
4.
Okay. This is not a nat 1. On that number, you twist, you pull, you're trying to get everyone to safety. And I think the unfortunate thing here is that this is the failure by more than 5. You think you do, and you watch as the scientist, like, her like leg gets covered with like some rubble at the last second, and Otto keeps going, and it basically just like rips through a bunch of flesh and kind of just like ruins her foot a little bit, like pulls off the shoe. It's like bloody. It's not like severed or anything like that, but
Yeah,
it's
but
like,
yeah, okay.
you know, dragging something
Mangled a
through
little.
2 things of sandpaper, you know.
Yeah.
I think mangled's the word. So
Yeah. No, that one up
she
here.
just cries out in pain, but will pass out as a result of this.
Okay. Kind of want to try and like, is she like bleeding out?
Well, she has a steel beam still in her, pierced through. So bleeding, but the beam is stopping it right now. You can't really transport her like this. I will say, too, with all of this commotion, the both of you start coughing.
Yeah.
If you want to carry her, I'm going to require 1 point of might from each of you to push through the hazardous air here.
Okay.
It's not
Or
worth
whoever's
it.
carrying her will have to pay the money. The other person could put their shirt again, as before.
Look, are we really going to start our lives of freedom, or, well, hopeful freedom, by letting someone die?
Suppose not.
Look, if we drag her at least somewhere clear of this, whatever it is, we might be able to get something from her.
Very well. Can you carry her? Are you able?
I should be able to.
Good. One moment. I'm gonna wipe away the blood off of her name tag. Just to
This
see
is
if it.
Ellie Voss. She is. Let me get the freaking title right. Head psychological researcher.
Have I had any bad experiences with her? Or I guess either of us, really.
I think we
The
didn't
both
know
of
her.
you have never met her.
Never met her? Okay. Ellie Val. Doesn't ring any bells. Oh well.
Okay, I don't think we should be dallying here.
Let's go.
Yeah, so the same one arm and...
Right? So 1 point of
one
might. Unless I will allow you, if you would like to find another way of covering your mouth and nose.
She has a long lab coat, right?
She does.
Can I just rip pieces, like a strip to like wrap around and give one to Otto too?
Yeah, absolutely. So you just start kind of rip the fabric up a little bit, tie it around your faces. Okay, awesome. Your hands are free.
And then I'm gonna try and drag her as gently as possible. But yeah.
Perfect. So you start to drag her, going a little bit slow, just kind of like not trying to jostle her too much. You can tell that the wound is bad, but it seems to have, not, it's like not in the middle of her chest or anything. It's not, it hasn't broken bones, basically gone through kind of like where her, her gut is. So those kinds of wounds often take a little bit longer. But she's unconscious and it doesn't look like she can walk. You get a little bit further down the corridor. You notice here that there's an open enclosure and it's kind of like very cold here, a little bit icy. I think that you probably see that like a drop of water almost from the ceiling, like where a pipe had burst, like it stopped. There's maybe an icicle that had formed. And there's like a little patch of ice on the bottom there.
All right, but we're out of the like gas or whatever fumes.
Do you take off your mask and test it?
Well, because you're saying before, like we were able to see something because it was thicker,
Yeah, you could see like these particles floating in the air.
right? Do we still see that at the very least?
You look around, like swish a bit. It's dusty in here. A little bit more so maybe in this area. You see that there's like another collapsed piece of ceiling a bit nearby.
Okay, so at least until there's no more particles, I think I'll keep the mask on. Otto, I think.
She's
If you're in agreement.
unconscious, seems to be breathing. She's not coughing. What do you guys
Okay.
do? You have her like away from the crumbled part of the ceiling.
I think we've done our good deed.
Right, but would have been good to find some information. Does she have any papers on her, reports, anything?
You take a look at like what's in her lab coat pockets. I think you would find like a personal data pad kind of object. You try to open it up and it just says like, passkey required.
Okay.
Uh,
Does she?
f-
I was gonna say, did she have some sort of like card key to get through the
Uh,
lab?
I think you start looking for like a card key, like like what else does she have? She just has her name tag. Otto, I think like you had a data pad and you played with it. You looked
mhm.
at it. You know that these often have like biometric recognition as well, and that's maybe what you've keyed yours to. So I think you kind of get the idea, like, oh, can we use her biometric data?
I was gonna ask, what do I have to do for my shape shifting abilities? Like, what are the confines of traits that I can, absorb, quote unquote, from somebody when I take their shape? Like, do I think I need to interact with her and I could potentially get some information that way, or is that off limits?
I think you have to consume a piece of her DNA.
Oh, I knew you were gonna say.
And then it's any two tags that thing would possess. So
Well, she does have an open wound that I caused on her foot.
she does. I will say what I was alluding to that I thought you would pick up, which I'm noticing now that maybe I shouldn't have.
Well, I wanted to get away from what I really thought it was, which is eat a piece of her brain.
I think it can just be blood. It has to be one of those things
Okay.
that contains like
Okay.
the building blocks of life.
Yeah, so I'll suck on her foot.
Again, before we get
On
to
her
this,
foot.
I think the idea you
No, I'm
first
already
have
sucking.
is like,
I'm already
oh, if I
sucking.
use like her thumb to unlock her phone, it'll be fine.
No, I can be her thumb.
You could be her thumb.
Is there a
do
reason
it?
you're sucking on her toe?
Yeah, I'll suck. You'll see I like clearly go from where the blood is already like coming from, and it gets on me. I don't know if you probably haven't seen. You've probably seen like maybe blood on me from like experiments that I've had to do in order to know that I have to do this, but it's not something I would have done in the enclosure unless.
So I think it's like one of the first time I've seen this.
Yeah. So we'll say you don't really know what I'm doing, and I'll just.
Uh,
How much do I have? Do I feel like I have to bleed her dry, or I can stop pretty quickly?
No, I think you can stop fairly quickly. I think I should make a ruling about this. I definitely should make a ruling. Yeah, you need like what's a normal amount of blood to donate? Like a pint of blood? That's an amount.
feels like a lot.
Do you normally donate? Google AI, 450 milliliters.
Yeah, it's like 2 cups.
Yeah, pretty much actually.
Yeah, about half a liter. Yeah, 2 cups.
I'll drink 2 cups of blood. I don't really look at you while I'm doing it. I'm like looking at the body.
Will you see
From
draining her?
her damaged foot.
Yeah.
Not like from like the wound that she's like stabbed through. Just,
There's
okay.
metal there.
We could have taken it out, but okay.
Sorry you had to see that.
Was that for your food? Do you eat blood? Do you need that for sustenance? Or should I leave you alone?
Let's just say it. I guess well, no, yeah, I would have had to pull down the mask. So I guess I'll be breathing in some of the air as I wipe it off, just to see if
If you breathe normally, it's fine here.
Okay.
I would be the shitty DM.
I leave it down. It's a byproduct of the experiments. I was not a complete failure, but I would not say this was a overwhelming success.
Well, I suppose everyone has their quirks, but right. We'll unpack that later, maybe when we're not here.
Yes. Of course. No, I'll just change it to her.
Oh, that's also something. Okay.
And you see Otto becomes Eli Voss. We did not discuss clothing at all.
No, I imagine I don't. That would be kind of crazy.
Like Mystique the clothed.
Yeah.
I'll do you one better, and I'll say that if you eat bits of clothing and stuff, like organic stuff, you can transform your body into it. You can't take it off, that means.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like Sylveon with the bow, which is a part of that Pokemon's flesh. You know what I mean?
Okay, you know what? That will be
You can
very
mimic
useful for like
clothing.
armor and stuff, perhaps. But for now, I will do that. And I'll take the data pad, and I'll take the little name tag, and I'll put it on what I'm wearing.
Right? You put it on what you're
figure
wearing.
out what's in here later.
You get the data pad. It opens up like a face recognition immediately. And what are the two tags? So you have the identity of Eli Voss.
Mm-hmm.
What are the two tags that you're taking from her?
Oof. I want to take a tag that's going to give me information about where we are. Is that possible, or is it like physical traits and stuff?
Also, you can take like Eli Voss's memories.
Okay. We'll do memories, and then can I like flip like expertise, and then like whatever that gives me, like whatever this person, whatever an NPC is like
A
good
random
at.
skill kind of thing?
Yes. For her, it would be manipulation.
Perfect. Doubly proficient.
Right. Will, for all intents and purposes, you see Eli Voss in front of you, data pad, and name tag attached. And as Otto speaks, I think it tickles your brain, but Otto, you obviously immediately understand what's going on here as you hear like a bit of a nasally voice like this. That's the voice of the person who was speaking over the kind of like intercoms to you when you were in the enclosure. And so basically they were the one that was like listing when an experiment would start, or sometimes would like give comments or results or things like that. This was the analyzing voice in the sky.
Will? You seem shocked?
That's an understatement. You just took her form.
Yes, and you lasered a steel beam with your fingers.
Right. Fair point. But fire magic seems a bit more common. I don't know. You're somebody completely different, yet not. Okay. Now, what
I
was
sound
the
like
purpose?
my own like regular like mannerisms, like I'm like I you,
Yeah.
but it's just not me.
Completely different person, yet not. Um, the purpose of this was
In case we
what?
run into another scientist, perhaps this can make our way out easier. Plus, she has knowledge of the general outlay of this facility. Could come in handy.
Anything? Okay, well, what can help us get out of here then?
Where's an exit? Where's the nearest exit? How would I get out of here usually?
So you start to think, you start to look at your data pad, and you have a map there of kind of some of the corridors. The map is a little bit, how do I say this? It looks wrong. And I think that you start to like delve into those memories that you took as a tag and kind of playing around with the data pad that you have in front of you. And I think this is where you discover that the facility, and this is something that Will understood a little bit more, the facility is malleable. So hallways and rooms move. They connect in different ways. They, basically it's like if a researcher wants to go from point A to point B, they don't just have to walk around the entire facility. Like they can just order a hallway to move between them and their point and then go where they have to go. And basically it's like efficiency and like speeds up, everything that needs to be done. But that system is down. And so a lot of the pieces of rooms and things are scattered about, some of them isolated, some of them connected in odd ways. And you can tell that that's also what brought about the collapse of the structure a little bit. Is like there's a bunch of stuff like on top of each other, and then it's like red and like, and like looking back to like the hallway where she was, it seems like she was maybe it says like her office is the floor above, and so maybe like that collapsing like was what pinned her to the bottom floor.
Oh my.
So the one thing I will say is that on your map there is a like a medic office, like medical supplies room nearby.
There's a medic office nearby, Will. We should stop for supplies.
Sure. Yeah, whatever can help. We should get as much as we can.
And I'll walk my usual way in this new body and guide you towards the medical bay.
Okay.
Start to make your way away. What about Eli Voss?
So you're
I'm
clearly
right here.
you have no you have no. I was like, no, can't carry her alone. Seeing as how this is like a safer area, she's not like coughing or anything. I'll.
You
I
know
wanted
she's
to
going to die if you leave her.
fuck.
A person doesn't just recover from the beam. I think there's something in you too that says like, oh, she's like, you're an enhanced being and she's not. Like, will she be able to like even get the beam out of herself or like lift
Well,
it?
because I was thinking of taking it out and cauterizing her wound. Just as like
You want
a
to roll me
very,
some
very
intellect
like.
check to see if you like would know what to do?
I mean, for me, I was thinking just like rip, like then cauterize. But like he doesn't know if that works. Like he has no medicinal knowledge to use. He's just thinking like I can, if I take this out, I can stop the bleeding. With
You make me a straight up intellect roll for like because I have a pretty good idea. I'm watching a lot of 911 with Jessica.
a 6.
A 6. It would maybe stop the bleeding, but would cause other damage.
Okay, so I can't save her alone, and it clearly seems like I'm not gonna get any help either.
Well, I said we could go to the medical place.
Right.
So I'm not
And
completely saying like let's leave her.
yeah,
You know.
true. But how far is this? How far is this place?
Yeah, Otto rounds the corner. It's just like away from you.
I look around. I can probably guess. Like you've already said out loud that you don't want to just let her die. Uh, do I? Do I think before I say anything? Do I think that we can get there in a reasonable amount of time, get supplies, come back, or is it
Do
like?
you want to roll me a medical check with no previous knowledge? Go ahead.
More like a distance. Like if we get there and come back, is it going to be like an hour? Or is it going to be a few minutes?
Oh yeah, it's no. This is like you're like, oh, there's one nearby. It's like down the hall. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like it's you can be there in 2 minutes.
Well, let's see what they have in the medical bay, and we can return to
all
her.
right, all right. I'll like prop her up, I guess, on the wall, and quickly go to join Otto to see what's in this medical bay.
All right, you quickly go to join. You round the corner. You go a couple of doors down. There's a sound in the hallway further down. You hear like a. I don't know how that translated. It sound like
Like a
scrabbling.
scratching.
Yeah, perfect. That's exactly what I want.
I mean, I feel like that's what you were going for. So
Of like nails on metal a little bit. And this microphone's metal, so I thought it would work.
okay, and this is from in front of us, from where we're like headed.
Yeah, a little, and I think like you both look up and you see that like like flickering light, a little bit low. It's down the hallway. The water on the floor here has like spread down the entire hallway. Probably like kind of like this middle image that I have up on the screen. There's like a bunch of like
wires.
cabling on the floor. It doesn't look like it's sparking or active or anything. But just like the water is a little bit deep down that way.
It's this way.
Oh, you're at the
It's
door. The medical
Oh,
room's
okay.
right next to you.
I'm just gonna like put my ear to it quickly first to see if I hear anything.
Sure. Roll me speed.
Speed.
Yeah, just suction cup your ear to the door. You probably-
Okay. 16.
Incredible. The target number was 3. You listen in, and then it seems like there's nothing behind that door, like a small space.
Okay. Oh, I guess. All right. I guess we'll open it. I'll open it.
You open the door. You're both standing there in a dark room when suddenly there's a flash of light as a motion sensor light turns on. And there are shelves here full of medical supplies. A few things have been knocked off the shelves. Like I think you can see that there was like a rack of like straight up potions that was just knocked off the shelf and is broken on the ground. So now they're
Oh.
unusable. Actually, unusable. 2 are usable.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, basically there's some bandages and like first aid supplies and things like that. I think the most interesting thing in this room is that at the back there is 4 lockers, in each of which is an auto. I think like this is the memory is kind of like come forward and you're able to like open this and see. It's a basic, like kind of like a environmental protection suit. So it's supposed to protect you from like basic hazardous materials. It's kind of like, I don't know if you've ever played Half-Life, but it's basically like kind of like the Half-Life suits. So there are
Okay.
4 suits here that you can suit up in, and then basically like press a button and like.
Well, How about a change of clothes?
I feel like anything's probably better than this. Like, I'm pretty sure, like, the stuff we're in, like, it's probably pretty raggedy at this point. I'm not sure how many times they've given us a change of them.
I feel like anytime you would have asked for clothing, so maybe like if you hadn't asked that recently, there's like a couple of holes in it or it's a bit worn. But from the scrape you had earlier, it's like if it caught on anything, it instantly tore. Like it's it's cheap.
Yeah, so like, yeah, if they have like better clothes, yeah, sure, I'll don it.
I will don as well. Just call me Donald. Since we have a history of getting beat at like our asses kicked on multiple occasions, have they been able to give us super quick medical treatment, like magical medical treatment that's not a cleric? Like some sort
I
of
would say
salve?
yes. Like that's why you recognize those two potions. It's like,
That-
oh, those
that
would
would be
be the injections. They're one-use ciphers, is what they are, that heal a d6 plus 1. So basically, it gives you one of your rests for free.
Nice. Okay. I don't think we should dilly-dally. Well, should we take the potions to, well, me?
Yes, I think that will be useful at the very least.
Do you guys change here in this room? Or do you just grab the suits and go?
I mean, like it's a quick like take off and put on, like, or is it like a difficult thing to kind of like try and get everything in?
I'm going to make you roll a speed roll to put this on. It's not easy unless you make it easy.
Can we like put it over stuff? Like, well, I mean, I think we can probably like do it as we like leave and just kind of like jump into one leg and jump into the other leg as we're like walking.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, you do have to get naked to do it. So
But
if
we
you
can't
both
do it
want to,
over our clothes currently.
you can't do it over your clothes. No.
Okay.
All right. Well, look, no one's around.
I think I start getting naked, but like in a way that I have no regard for anything. It's just, and you've probably seen this before, I would imagine, since we lived
I
together.
mean, we've
I
shared
want to change.
a cell for how long now?
Yeah,
I think
just
Otto, though, you do this in your normal way, but for the first time, you're transformed, right?
Mhm.
And you took that memory tag. You get memories of shame,
Oh god.
but they're not yours.
So I like halfway. Oh shit. Maybe turn around.
Okay. I mean, I don't think he was looking like at one point. Like,
You're like, ooh.
no, Wilm's probably like seeing like those potions. Are there any other sorts of like useful things there? Like as he's like stripping down, I guess he's like
Well,
looking through the
So
shelves.
Otto says, "Oh, turn around," and you're like, "Well, I wasn't looking anyway." And I think as your gaze sweeps, you lock eyes with a mottled head that is peering around the corner, that is staring at the two of you.
A model head?
Mottled.
Like a mannequin.
Oh.
Modeled. Okay, I thought it was like a mannequin, like a modeled.
You know that nasty GIF I sent today?
No.
That.
That.
Okay.
Oh.
Excuse me. If you don't mind, we're averting your eyes just for a few seconds.
Trying to open this up in a way that the stream can see.
Is that the? Are they masticating as well? Like.
Yeah, go like. Now that you've noticed, it was like just the eyes were around the corner. Like,
Excuse me. If you don't mind, just give us a few seconds to change, and we'll be right with you.
It's like, how do I do this from here? It's right. It's around the chest, and you see like
Oh God.
I would ask that you.
We have some company, Otto.
Everybody, roll initiative. But it's just so who can act when. You sense a curiosity. Maybe it's hostility. Maybe it's not.
Okay.
On to the cock.
7.
I felt like I wrote down. Is it just a D20 roll? I thought there was a space on that.
I believe it's a speed D20 roll.
Oh, and then maybe some classes have like, I don't know, something in it that makes it.
Yeah, it's possible to be like, I have an asset in initiative.
That would be nice. 11.
An 11. I'm just letting you guys suffer because I rolled a nat 20. So,
All right.
so on the nat 20, the creature is going to, not seeing any hostile or sudden movements, dart across to the other side of the doorway, and you hear its feet splashing as it kind of runs down the corridor a little bit.
Away from us?
Away from you.
Towards
the other person that was with you. And I think that dawns on the both of you as it is your turn.
Oh, shit. We've already grabbed the stuff that we think is useful in here, like the potions.
Yeah, I would say so.
And my quick scan before, like, there was anything else that might like have caught my eye.
No, I don't think. I think the one thing you would see is like a field medic like briefcase that you could kind of carry around with you, and then what that would let you do is basically, it would. What's the word? When you're impaired, it can bring you back to a hale state. So it'll move you back one up on the track, and it'll only. I would say that it would restore like 1 point from that pool, but basically like for the person that you're trying to help, if you like were to use this kit on her, it would take her from death's door to just severely injured.
Okay, I would grab it, seeing as how that was like my goal, and be like, I'm gonna go see if I can go help.
I'll catch up. Start getting
and go.
disrobed.
You start to run out. Otto, you finish getting dressed. Is there something else you're looking for in this room in particular? Like the rest is like bandages and boxes of like random stuff, like needles and things and test tubes. And...
I'll just like I'll put the like as if I'm putting my phone down on the counter, and then like as I'm getting dressed, I'll just like thumb through it and see if anything interesting pops up on like the biometric thing. Just like see if there's anything that I might have missed on my cursory scan. That's like press this to be saved immediately or something.
Are you delving into those memories to do this, or are you?
Ooh. Yeah, a bit of that like muscle memory, even of like just seeing like
muscle memory. I would say speed for muscle memory if you're trying to do it that way.
Okay.
Or maybe it is. That is a memory I guess you could take is muscle memory.
Ah.
Rules of the game, I have to give that to you. So muscle memory it is.
So still speed?
No, it'll be intellect, and because you're reducing the difficulty with an asset, which is the tag for memory, I will give it to you at standard target number 6.
19.
Nice.
Incredible. There's a minor effect there. So on a natural 19 plus the 5 more plus an actual success, I think that you finish getting ready in a timely manner while being able to, one, look through the files on this phone. Confirms everything like that you can remember about Eli Voss. You do find reference to today being a very important day by Dr. Mario Hiroyuko. So he knew something about today, and she was basically trying to manipulate him into telling her what it was because he's kind of secretive, and she wasn't able to get that information out of him. As part of that information, and this is your better success, you find that she has in her room above where that steel kind of like thing had stabbed her, she has a bunch of supplies in case she had to escape the lab for whatever reason. So she basically has a gun. She has like sleeping mat, like basically like a backpack with like some cooking supplies and things like an adventurer's pack, basically. And she also has a hoverboard.
Cheers
Which
to
is
that.
cheers to that.
But also, cheers.
And the hoverboard is the 19. I will say that is the effect of your very good roll. That she thoroughly prepared.
Sick.
So if you can find a way to get there, then there's stuff.
Very cool. Pick up the phone and walk over to whatever the heck is about to happen.
So you go over towards what is going on. Wilm, you're present to witness this creature has lumpy greenish bluish flesh. It looks like it used to be a person, but at some point it started to deviate, and as it skitters along the ground, I think you notice that there's like chunks of it that kind of like fall off in a spot, and then they start to like wiggle, and then they like start growing small appendages, and then they start kind of moving, just wandering a little bit aimlessly.
Like, with no purpose or anything, just kind of like teetering.
Yeah, just like bobbing a little bit. And as it gets near to where the doctor is, I'll say that's its basically full turn is to move that far distance. It comes back to you. So this creature in Cypher terms is a short distance away, so it's beyond immediate, which means it would take a full turn to move all the way over to it.
Okay. I'm going to continue moving towards the doctor, and I'm going to call out to this creature, or this person, this being. Like, is there something we can help you with? That person is currently injured, and we're going to make them better. But are you all right?
You catch its attention. And one of those lumps kind of just comes out of its mouth and spits it up towards you. It has its eyes on you now, though, and you get this sense from the body language as it kind of hunkers down a little bit, and it seems to be like trying to block your line of sight to the doctor. But I will say, so that's your turn is to move that, close in that distance, and you've gained its attention on you now. Otto, you show up at the end of this corridor. Will and this thing are a short distance away next to the doctor, so they're all immediate to each other. You're here a short distance away.
You're muted.
Thank you. In the interest of time in this scenario that we're in, I'm going to release the form that I'm in. Wilm's gonna get the crash course to Otto, so we don't have to go about this later, and pay the price of shape-shifting, as it were. I do have an ability called Terrifying Presence that I want to use on this creature.
Oh yeah.
But like in my mind, it's kind of tied to this. Like I took it, but I really only want to use it in this form. But I don't know how that works with like action economy and stuff.
Let's describe this form first, then we'll talk about. We talked about a mechanic, and I'll remind you what we had said.
Okay. Yeah. So like as I guess you don't even really see it. You maybe see like the shadow of this person, like regular woman form in her suit that I'm about to destroy. It like balloons up, like it fills up the suit and then past what it should be, and then like a balloon with too much air, it bursts. But out of it comes this disgusting, hairy, eight-legged creature. This large spider with many eyes and dripping fangs. But like, yeah, from behind, I guess you'd only see like those 8 legs and that giant mass in the middle that was like exploding out of itself, form into what could only really be a giant spider.
This is tarantula-esque, I would say, with all of those fibrous hairs all over its body. Probably the hallway is like a little bit cramped for how huge this spider is. It has to like do that tarantula thing where it like bends the body a little bit, so it looks like its legs all the way around the freaking hallway coming forward.
Would I see this?
You see this.
Because like I'm focused on the creature, right? Like in front of me.
I guess
and he's
you're
behind
focused
me.
on the creature. Otto, do you make noise as the spider? Because spiders are famously quiet.
Yeah, true.
Like,
no, yeah, I wouldn't make noise unless I had to.
So you creep forward, and Will, I think you just see this long shadow
appear behind me.
Okay. And the creature goes from like I'm kind of trying to intimidate, like we're having a standoff a little bit,
Okay.
to fucking runs. Basically, he's using his terrifying presence. What's the mechanics specifically that I need to know?
Well, like this would be a whole roll thing. I think it costs 2 intelligence. Where's my sheet? I convince 1 intelligent target. Oh, maybe not actually. Well, I shouldn't judge. Level 3 or lower that I am its worst nightmare. It must be within short range and be able to understand you for as long as you do nothing but speak. The target is paralyzed with fear, runs away, or takes some other action appropriate in the circumstance. And then I could use effort to increase the maximum level of the target. So if it's super smart, I can try and affect it.
Perfect. You're able to affect it. So you have an edge in intellect, so you only spend 1 point, right?
Exactly.
So what do you say from behind Wilm as you cast your presence, your terrifying presence forward?
What would this thing... I will make you experience unending hunger Every orifice in your body will dry out. Your innards will become your outers, and you will beg for a morsel of water or food, and then you will beg for death, and I will not respond. And I just like, like if it stays, it's not going to get what it wants ever again.
Yeah, it totally flees. You see the light leave this thing, almost like its soul leaves its body as it runs so fast away from this situation.
So I hear that from behind me with this large shadow, but it's still in Otto's voice.
I imagine it's like my voice, but like my vocal cords are like stretched,
Yeah,
and
so it's like just like
the
a
mechanism that
louder,
it's
like more
in.
like echoing.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be a stickler. Spiders don't have vocal cords, so this is like a psychic.
Ooh, cool. Okay. I actually like that a lot.
So I don't hear this.
You would hear it's like a wave forward. So
Like a
if Otto
projection
wanted you
kind
to
of
hear
thing,
this,
yeah.
then he could hear it.
So again, if he wanted me to hear it, so do I hear it?
I'll say no. I'll likely only want people to hear it if I want them to like be affected by it.
To be terrified. Okay, so
In
you
this instance,
focuses in on him. Will, you see that? I think Will probably would still turn around and
I mean, I see the shadow, this being like just scarpers away. I'm like, oh, Otto, he's got Otto, and I'm gonna kind of back up because this is the first time I've seen this, right? And like immediately, like my hand like catches a flame. Otto,
I'll back up as much as I can.
okay,
It's still me.
okay, so it is you. All right, you're full of surprises today. Is this? Did you suck a spider's blood? Now
The woman, Ellie Boss.
she's a spider.
No, but she seems to be dying.
Right, but okay, right, turn around and turn like I'm stammering to try and get words out of to express my incredulity and surprise about Otto, but at the same point I know that I'm okay. I have to try and save her, so I'm gonna turn back around.
Yeah, you see the emergency
Use
case on the floor.
the emergency case, and like do what I can to try and like again first aid. I guess get her out of like the worst that she's in.
Yeah, absolutely. So you go, you open up the case, you activate it. Basically, what's in here is like a robot that goes like onto her body and starts like suturing and like applying like injections to the tissue, and it's like regrowing the damaged tissue inside her. So you like remove that steel beam, and then it
Okay,
gets
I was gonna say like, do I like talk to the robot? Be like, do I remove it now? Like, what? How do I help you?
yeah, and basically it's going to take her from the only thing that was stopping her from dying was the steel beam,
Yeah.
and so this brings her to an impaired condition.
Without the steel beam in like impaling her.
Exactly. So
Okay.
now she's much more manageable and is not immediately dying.
Okay. So once that, what if I see the robot's like independent, like autonomously working, I'm gonna turn back around to Otto and be like,
I'm gone. I want to
"What?
just hide in the corner that I came from.
Yeah.
Can you hide at that size?"
You back up into that corridor, Otto. The rule that I wanted to remind you of before I forget is that you can freely switch between Otto and other Otto.
But I can never transform to someone else until I spent enough time in the spider form.
Yeah, so you have your racial rules, but the idea is that if you only ever want to use the terrifying presence as the spider bit,
Yeah,
you're free to do that anytime that you're yourself too.
that's true.
I just didn't want to reveal what the form was
Yeah.
before it was revealed.
Yeah, yeah.
You're not exactly hiding with that size of yours?
Yeah, Will says, turning the corner and do you
I know it's not exactly a comforting sight. Just thought I would get out of the way.
Look, I don't particularly care what you look like. But are you good? You were
Yes.
sucking on someone's foot for blood. You transformed into them. Then you transformed into this spider. Um, is this normal?
Yes. Done this many times, but you have always been asleep. It's the
Wait, you've
it's
sucked
another
whose blood and done this many times? Like, not
might be a
mine.
long. No,
Oh, okay. And not Tomas's either?
no. You are my
Alright.
friends. And I must take on this form for the amount of time that I've taken on any other form, except the one that you know. And so at night, I often must change to this form so that I can take part in the next day's tests. But I am comfortable in my webs in my corner. Usually it's not a problem.
Alright. So if you say you need to spend the same amount of time, you were only her for a few minutes.
Well, I've never successfully changed into a person before. I've taken on aspects through tests and other things. This is the
So
first time I became a
that was
whole
your first success.
body. I suppose so.
I mean, I feel like congratulations are in order, but I feel like you don't want to hear them right now.
No, it's fine. You haven't fled in fear, so it's better than I imagined it would go.
Where am I going to flee to? We're in a collapsing building.
Oh, that's true. Where did that strange thing go then?
Back to where the rubble was. So that's a dead end. So
Oh,
we might want to move soon.
yes.
It might come back.
Can we leave her?
Is she going to? Well, I feel. uh, now that she's impaired, can I like easily like kind of like carry her more easily?
Yes, you can
Was there some
fireball
sort
and
of
carry
like
her. So
stretcher or like uh something that I could use to transport an injured person in the medical bay?
I'll say in the medical bay, you can use like straps or something that
So, like a
maybe
wheelchair
would be
or
used for a
something?
tourniquet or whatever. Yeah, like you could repurpose it to make like a human-sized baby Bjorn or whatever for your back to carry her.
Okay, I'll try that.
Okay, so you basically like kind of tie her to you like over the shoulder a little bit. Um, so she's like you can move around and she won't fall. She's just kind of ragdolls
Eh,
on the
oh,
back of you. Um, do you like wrap up her foot and stuff too? The emergency robot runs out of juice basically after it repairs the hole in her.
I will do whatever I can to make sure that she's better. So again, like if there were bandages and everything, like I
Mhm.
would bandage it up so that she wouldn't get like any sort of infection.
Okay, perfect. So yeah, her foot's all wrapped up. So she's not like 100%, but
Yeah,
way
no,
better than when you
that's
found her.
okay. All right, sorry for the delay. Are you comfortable? Is there's enough room for you to walk around in these hallways, right?
No, I will change back.
Well, it might be best because there used to be something about this lab that you could like will the lab to change, and it gave you more space or took you to where you wanted to go, but I've been trying it. It hasn't been working at all.
The lady's biometric pad was giving the same inclination. Whatever was once working is no longer.
Oh, all right. Do you still have the map?
Yes. Legs just like going back into the
Looks
body.
painful.
It's fine. Oh.
Where do your other limbs go? Like, you don't stay with 8 limbs, do you?
No, they all like kind of like go into the body, and then the body like goes in on itself, and then like my arms kind of like come out as the mass is swelling down.
Roiling.
Oh yeah, definitely roiling.
It's a polyjuice potion, like.
Yeah. All right. Well, that was something. If
But
you're
I no longer
sure,
biometrics.
I don't
I'll
think
have to
we
do it the
need.
old fashioned.
We can. Well, she's still around with us, so I think we can.
Like a facial recognition.
Yeah, like.
Head up. I have enough experience with these things. Like, can I unlock it and then, as long as I don't lock it again, still have access to it? Or are there
Yeah.
like multiple layers of like facial?
No. I would say you're able to mostly do that.
Just change the password, man.
I don't have time. I have to do
It's
it.
okay. Look,
As Otto says, I don't have time. I think the both of you notice that water in the corridor kind of lapping at your feet now, but weren't you just around the bend? And I think you take a look at where the medical supply closet is now. The far end of that corridor, which was like dark and flickering, has gone fully dark, and it seems to be full of like water. Like that piece of the corridor is like tilting downwards, and the lower it gets, the more full of water it is, and there's more and more water pooling up here.
all right. We might be on a time crunch here. What's the quickest way out?
Let's see. Try and see if there's a path. Kind of like following a maze. Like, I'm sure a lot of them are blocked off.
So you start looking, and I think like the way that you end up having to search is like there's like a floor, then there's like all of these random ones, and then you have to go floor up, other random ones, floor up, other random ones, and you're like, okay, 3D mental picture in my mind, what ones were stacked on top of each other that we could potentially go through. And I think you got that information before when she fell through a couple of floors, and then you figure, oh, we don't need staircases if we can kind of make our own tunnel. But you can't drill like a hole into nothing because potentially you could hit something else. So you're rolling an intellect roll. This is going to be pretty challenging, I would say. So that's a level.
Can I aid in any way? Like, if he's looking at the map on the pad, and like if like, I can tell, like I can use my own like common sense to be like, oh, but what if it was here, and like just try and like add my own thoughts into this. Would that help him in any way?
Yes, absolutely. I'll give him an asset as the two of you talk it over. So it goes from challenging to difficult. Target number 12.
Guess who has puzzle solving skills?
Ooh, trained goes
Yeah.
down to target number 9.
Ooh. I think I could do that.
Yeah, come on, Nico. Yeah.
I was like, is this ever gonna come into play?
Of course.
9 on the dot.
You got it. You got it.
With the dot right there on it.
Incredible. And I think you clue in, you're like, okay, next floor up, go back through her office. And and make your way up from there.
To her office too?
Where you found her unconscious body, straight up would be her office. But I mean, like with the 9, you figure out a little bit more than that. You kind of get like a bit of a route going. But that is the first stop that you make your way to.
I'll straight up tell you, Will, on the way. I got access to her memories. She has a cache of at least one gun, hoverboard, and a sort of adventurer's pack.
So guns are like something that we would know like what they are, right? Like this is like we were alive before this. We knew what the world was like before we came here. Like it's not like guns are completely foreign to us, hoverboards are completely foreign to us. Or
that was up to you guys. I think I'd asked for this a while ago. And I'm fine with whatever you want your decision to be, because we're still in the tutorial area in a sense.
yeah.
We haven't left the lab. So if you want memories of your previous experiences as like a person, let me know what those memories are, and then you would have that kind of knowledge. Otherwise, in this instance, like you would know it's a weapon, but you might have to like figure it out a little.
Okay. Well, I do think Wilm would have some memories of before, outside of the lab, and then potentially ran into like some dire straits financially, and came for like the paid testing, and then never left because it wasn't quite the contract he believed it to be.
He was disappeared. Yeah, perfect. So I think you have that knowledge. First things first, you head towards this room. You have your path. Otto
The creature
is
might be
naked.
there.
Otto's naked. You burst out of your clothing earlier.
Yeah, you're right.
But
But
has a ragdoll on his back. You hear the chittering from down at the dead end coming back your way. And the room is a solid 10 feet above you. There's a hole in the ceiling.
Right. And the rubble is in no shape to lead us up. Like there's not a pile of rubble leading up to it because it broke like through.
It's a good point. I'll say it's climbable, but dangerous. You'll have to make a speed roll in terms of technique to like avoid getting cut on like some sharp metal.
Could I spider my way?
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Up?
Otto, can you go up and see if there's any way that you can throw down a rope or something?
Didn't you just become a person again? Oh, I guess you could just be a spider again.
Yeah, right? Like I figure me and the spider are like two sides of the same coin, but only one side has an interaction with like the power down time of changing.
Yep.
So like I can't become her yet, but I could become spider and Otto. Is what I
Let me make this clear. Your cooldown means you are only a huge spider.
Oh, okay.
So to
I
take
thought it
on
was
your
like
normal
pause,
form,
cooldown, pause, Otto, and then cooldown.
no, being able to take on the form of like Otto the humanoid is like a ding, cooldown done. I can do that again.
Ooh, okay.
I'll say like you weren't Eli Voss for very long, so like
No,
you guys could have
that's
just
true.
waited like 5 minutes and then you would have been yourself again.
Okay. But now that the cooldown's down, I can become a spider.
Yes, so you can be a spider again. So you can kind of just lift Will up to this next floor.
Yeah.
What are you doing for clothing though? Because every time you come back to Otto, that means you're naked again.
Look, if she has supplies, you can probably get them from her office.
Yes. I'll do maybe I'll do the chewing thing. Does that work with auto?
The what thing?
The chewing on clothes and then just
Does that work with auto?
like would I have to turn into a spider after putting clothes on auto?
Yeah,
There's all
that's a
tutorial based stuff to figure
great
out.
question. What clothing do you chew on? I'll say it works on auto. Why not? You want the spider to have clothes, it could. So
Little boots and a hat and
Yeah, whatever basic thing she has. Cloth.
she has our
Like-
lab coat that we ripped into.
Yeah. Lab coat and like a shirt and pants. Like she probably has like well, I'll look if she has like clothes folded. If you work in a lab, I'm sure you have like your uniform
Spares.
necessarily like just there.
that's very interesting. You eat the lab coat, it gives you indigestion. It is made of plastic. It's like a plasticized fiber of some sort, which means it's basically inert. Like there's no more organic footprint to it. But her clothing is like a cotton blend or something, and so you're able to reproduce it.
Lab coats for me. All right, well, I can tie you in webbing or I can grasp you.
Whichever's easiest for you.
And I'll explode out. We didn't discuss this, but my room was made of webbing, so I imagine I have some sort of access to webbing. Or
Yeah.
was that provided to me? We can always
Spiders make webs.
Yes.
Gotta be a cost.
Yeah.
It probably is not like a central thing for this form. Like, I'll give you this. Per point of, what do you think web is? Speed or might?
Interesting.
It's corporeal, right?
I want to
Maybe
say
moving.
might because you can like make me do speed if I do it fast.
Yeah, or
like
if you do something with the web, like something tricky, or make a net.
You like go around and
So to make web is might. So for per point of might that you put into this, I'll say you have a meter of web.
sick.
3 feet per point.
3 feet per point that you spend. So you have to use up, right? Basically your constitution to you have to some web out. And if you have an edge in it, then it'll make it a little, maybe
Yeah,
a little bit for free,
absolutely.
kind of.
It'll get better as time goes on if I put the points in, or easier. So I'll do like 6 feet of webbing. See if that's enough as a basis, just to kind of like wrap him in it.
Sure.
And then I don't know what spiders usually do when they webbed up their meal.
It's in the web usually.
Like, do they move it? Like, do they have like little? They hold it up and then, or they just web it. I feel like I've seen them like web it and then like move it around. I don't know. Let me look. Did spiders?
I've never seen a spider move it.
Move
Yeah, it's caught in their web. They web it and then like leave it there. I'm pretty sure.
egg sacs. Well, a spider can move their egg sac. So how does a spider move their egg sac?
Fair.
These are the questions we need answered.
What? Are you treating me like an egg sack? Apparently.
do they have little? I'm seeing like a lot of images where they have like their legs and then they have little. I don't know if
Mandibles?
they don't really look like fangs. Yeah, is that what they are?
There's often mini legs at the front. Those are counted as part of the 8.
Oh, okay.
Oh wait, no.
Yes, you're right. You're right. On this one, at
Hold on.
least.
You're looking at tarantulas, right?
I'm just looking at a bunch of fucking spiders. So It's actually, I don't want to do this for very long. Just Google image spiders.
Tarantulas do have like an extra 2 mini, like, and that would make 10 legs in a way. And those are actually, I think, like more like fangs or something. Like they're more like mandibles.
If I can just caress him in there, and he's covered in the webbing, so I'm not worried of like piercing him. Just like put him there.
Gonna bring this on
Oh
stream.
God, trigger, arachnophobia trigger.
Yeah, sorry for anyone who might.
Oh my God, there's so many cool tarantula. You're gonna have to look up some, dude. I happen to be a spider lover. Will never put one near me, but
But looking at them from afar. Okay.
I had a tarantula claw in my hand one time, and I think that was enough.
That's fair.
One's all you need.
Okay, so this one's more personable.
It's got color.
The pedipalps.
So bashful.
Piocerotheria metallica.
Pedipalps are front limbs, but they're not meant for locomotion, so they're not considered legs. They're important because they act like antenna, as well as locating their prey.
So spiders have hands?
Appendages that help in non-locomotive actions.
Well, so the pedipalps are what they use to like roll their prey in web.
Yeah.
Those are hands. That's not a hand.
They're also used during copulation.
Ooh.
They have spermatic hooks. Oh God.
Get your spider facts here, folks.
This will turn into an all things spider stream.
Right. So, Otto, a plan to get up there.
As I'm like wrapping you, I haven't really done this with anything other than small objects. Just trying to figure out the best way. But I can climb you up there easily.
All right. I'm in your no, not hands. Hands.
This is Otto as he talks to you.
I'm in your mandible hands.
Just don't worry about it.
I trust you.
Yeah, specialized structures on their paws that help them grasp surfaces. There's so much to, but they do carry things. Perhaps not in the sense that we do, but they move prey, they move eggs.
All right. So for those who might be arachnophobic, maybe we should take that off the screen, though.
I'll put a trigger warning in the YouTube description for sure.
We'll be fine here. I'll make it
Someone
fine.
will be
You can be down there.
All right. Okay. Thank you.
Is this effort that I'm using to carry Wilm up the shaft?
I don't think so. I mean, you're a giant spider, so do you think it took Shelob effort to carry Frodo?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. So
I'm not under no duress or stress or anything.
In this moment, Wilm is a spider rider.
I feel like I was more of an egg sack, really.
It's a bit of an egg sack.
He wrapped me up in web and then carried me like I was an egg sack.
Gingerly up to the next floor. But you do find yourselves in Voss's office. So Voss's office, pretty standard books, some screens scattered around. Most of the office is in disarray after it collapsed. I think that what I would like anyone who wants to can investigate the room and look for the items that I listed earlier. So if you want everything, including the hoverboard, it will be intimidating because this place has been basically destroyed with like rubble and stuff. So you're gonna have to like search through and find something.
Otto having had her memories and like remembered it, does that help in any way?
So to find everything, I think task difficulty 6. Having the memories will make it task difficulty 5.
Well, here's the thing, because we're in tutorial phase. Since I lose the skills once I leave the form. Like,
right.
I think in instances of like, oh, you remember because you had called this memory up, so like that memory for information is still in your head, but the skill, I don't think I can ever apply it to stuff to get reductions.
Yeah, unless you take the form again.
Yeah, like I remember there are guns, and I can remember, like if I remembered where they were, maybe I wouldn't lose that because I called it forward, but it wouldn't help me in any mechanical way. I think that's fair.
Yeah, I would say though that you could recall the form when you want to.
Yeah,
The only thing is that it would
for
only
sure.
have the memories from when you had taken the DNA sample.
Yeah. No, I mean, I don't want to be the asshole TTRPG player that lets the hoverboard go for his friends that are on vacation that might want it, but I don't want a hoverboard. I'm grappling with that. It's like, Dad, probably wants a hoverboard, but
I would look for things anyways. Because you told me there's a stash here, so I'm kind of looking for things. I'm also
there's a few things you might want. There's a gun. There's a basic like supply pack.
The supply
for
pack.
escaping to the into the city, perhaps like outside the city. There is value here. I'm just saying you have to get all the way up to the highest one to get that.
Okay. Can I help Wilm?
Yes, I will say you guys can. We'll do it this way. You're helping each other, so you can both roll.
Oh.
Okay. Let me see. Ooh, 17.
17.
11.
11. On the 11, Otto is the one who finds the pack. You kind of like dust it off and get it kind of like out into the open, give it over to Wilm. Wilm, on a 17, you kind of search the desk area and you're able to open up one of the drawers that's been damaged, like it would have normally been locked. And in there, you find the gun. So this is a laser gun Cypher, and it has a 3-cell kind of like of shots. So it'll do 3 times, like basically you have 3 shots of 4 damage, and then it has a recharge.
So you charge 4 damage, then recharge.
Recharges a D4. So if you roll a 4 on the D4, it will overcharge the gun, and it will have one last shot, but then break.
But like a 1 to 3 is just going to be that many shots reloaded.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah. So that the way that I would like rule that is like, if you want to like wait till it's empty to recharge it, you can. But like mid battle, I would say like you can take an action to, like if you shot 2 shots, you can like recharge it and then try shooting again.
Sick.
You can top it off, but also
Did you
potentially blow.
acquire the weapon, Will?
I don't particularly need this. Do you want it?
It would seem unwise to not take protection into the unknown.
I hand it to you. Just point it away from, well, me.
Yes. Just put it in the pocket of cotton pants.
So we find everything except the hoverboard. What you're saying?
You were 1 away from finding a hoverboard.
Okay,
I'm sorry.
that's all good. Are there any clothes that Otto can wear?
Yes, I'll say on the 17. Well, no, he's wearing cotton clothing now because he ate some clothing.
Right, but are there spare sets of clothing that we can use?
You can find other sets of
A
cotton
lab
clothing.
coat, perhaps?
I think you'll notice, like, of the clothing that Otto ate that Vost was wearing, like one was like the shirt was maybe red, and then the pants were like I don't know, it was somebody. I was gonna say red and green. That makes no sense at all stylistically.
Christmas.
Beige or something. So Otto, when you went to remake the fabric, you're able to reproduce the red because the red dye is organic, right?
Mhm.
Most red dye, for those of you at home, comes from bugs. It comes from a specific type of beetle. The beige, unfortunately, was a synthetic dye, which means that you didn't digest that part. So if you want to like root around and try and find some more colors, that's how you can eat a few pieces of clothing if you want.
What color did it come out as?
The pants would be white, like wool,
Ooh. Okay.
or wool, cotton.
I'm fine with that.
They're like missing a zipper, so you have to like take up your shift belt.
So we might need a lot of clothing for you.
It's true. I don't remember what the outside world is like. Here we can just be naked.
Right, but we still weren't.
No, you weren't. Do we have time? You think?
Well, I mean, we've taken what was here. Do you want to search other rooms? Is what you're saying?
I wasn't looking for clothes. I might just do a once over. Maybe there's some leather.
Yes. Look for what you need. I'll look outside and see if the coast is clear.
I'll look for natural,
Fabrics.
fabrics and such.
Alrighty, roll me
leather belt.
d6, and that's the number of colors of fabric you get.
It's the one that I have. 6.
Oh.
Man, I'm either rolling really good tonight, or really bad, or just enough.
So pretty much all over the board.
Yeah, basically, I think you can make any color now of clothing on that 6. So pretty good.
Damn.
See Otto come out eating like underwear.
You have all sorts of interesting hobbies.
You don't?
Different different ones, I'll say.
Well,
Has
I look
has there
forward to
been
learning
anything
them.
in the hallway as I have peeked out?
Right. The both of you start to thread your way through the maze that you puzzled through a little bit earlier. Along the way, there's not really any other like medical facilities or anything super useful. I think that
Food, maybe?
yeah, you're looking for more like supply type stuff now, right? You come across a cafeteria, but it's those synthetic food machines, and the power's out here. Um, so the machines are here. If you could try and you could try to like finagle this and maybe try and get.
I don't think I know enough to be able to even attempt it. So I'm not going to. Because how is the building itself? Like, is it creaking? Are there more, uh, not quite explosions, but like cave-ins?
I think as you get a few levels up, it's hotter up here. There starts to be like a little bit of like the smell of smoke, but nothing visual yet. It just seems like there must be an intense fire raging somewhere. Um, there are not explosions, but you start to feel those thuds again. But like Will, you're feeling them now that you're up here. They're more rapid, and then every once in a while there's like a bigger one. So it's still unclear what that could be. Um,
But close or far?
I probably far is like what it would seem like distant, like through all of the lab material. But as you get to this cafeteria, I think that now you start seeing bodies. There are people who are dead. Some of them like crushed by rubble, or they seem to have been like smoked out for some reason, or like there's different kind of like final destination ways that the lab researchers died, unfortunately. Um, but there were a few odd cases. One case where there is a hallway where people are frozen solid. As you kind of walk by one, they crumble just into dust. There's another place where it seems like people were eviscerated, just like torn in half and like thrown against a wall, like the torso, like down the hallway from where the legs are. Just pieces of people around. You see that there were like the security guards and stuff were here, and basically like there's like shots and bullets around on the walls and things like that. Casings on the floor. You find the body of Lockjaw. Um, he's surrounded by casings, and he seems to have been drained of life. He's like like a desiccated, dry skin clinging to his bones.
Goodness. I think Tomas would be sad to see this.
I guess a good thing he's not here, and hopefully he's not experiencing the same thing we are.
I don't like this. This is strange.
I would have to agree with you there. I would very much like to get out as soon as possible.
Does anyone here... Who here looks the most normal in terms of being killed?
The most normal, probably one of the Final Destination lab researchers. What are you looking for?
I want to take some blood, but I don't want to take blood off of someone who's like potentially, I don't even know what the fuck is going on with them. Someone who like died of a more natural cause.
Died, yeah,
like,
normally.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you find somebody who basically looks like they. How do I say this in a nice way? A vending machine fell on them.
Oh, what a bad way to die. The poor person.
Will, this is highly irregular of me, and I hope that once we escape, you will remove some of this from your mind. This is not how I intend to behave. However, the
Uh,
situation seems to call for what I'm about to do.
look, we all fall upon desperate times. I think this qualifies. I think Will will still kind of like turn away and like give Otto his time to
His
eat.
privacy.
Yeah.
And it'll be a very quick like change, and then like think of like what the hell happened here. Like go into the recent memories of what happened, and hopefully,
Ooh.
they didn't die first. That could be what happened. I don't know, but
Yeah,
that's all I
he's
really.
just like eating lunch. And Wilhelm scream in the first collapse. Man, that's really funny. And can I GM intrude? I would like to give you an experience if that's what happened.
Okay, I'll take it. I'll take it.
Perfect. You get one experience you can give to Simon, or you have to. Shit.
And then like change back to Spider for however many seconds or minutes it took me to realize that he died too quickly.
Yeah, I'll say almost instantaneously. So you like transform into him, back into the spider, back into.
It's probably weirder to see it happen so fast. He didn't see anything.
No, I wasn't paying attention.
No, sorry. This one, whatever his name was, he died before the rest of them. The last thing he saw was a turkey sandwich.
That's quite a last memory. Poor man.
I have a little bit of information. Ellie Voss, she was suspicious that something was going to happen today because the director made it seem so, although she couldn't glean what it was. It leads me to believe that this was perhaps planned, whatever happened here.
All right.
And perhaps there were plans on how to clean it up. Though that is just my own inference.
It's a fair inference to make. All right. So we found some things out. Now, do we continue out, or do you want to search this level a bit more?
In truth, I would like to search this level more, but I understand if that's not feasible.
No. Look, the more supplies we can get, probably the better. We don't know how long we're going to need to survive outside, and
The facility shakes.
let's do what we can with the time we have. We'll make our way towards the exit and search as we go.
I'll change without warning this time. Would you let me to like bite bodies along the way.
Yeah.
Kind of store a backup of characters.
Yeah, Joe Blows.
Just
Sure.
yeah,
Absolutely.
generic ones to change it to.
There's a bunch of how many do you want to bite? Because there's like I was like, oh, we'll roll something, but no, there's over there's a couple dozen bodies easily on the way. So
We'll do 8. We'll keep the theme.
perfect.
One for each leg.
So we have Eli Voss, vending machine man, and 8 other guards or I think even like a technician. Like there's a bunch of maybe some different people that were on the way here. I think in the bloody hallway you maybe bite 2 and then realize it's the same person. Then you have to bite another one.
Parts of the same person.
Brutal.
We'll look around for supplies. What do you want specifically? Because there's some food. I'll say there's more vending machines if you just want there's sandwiches and stuff that you can kind of grab.
Okay.
You don't have a bag right now, so you would have to go take something off somebody.
I have the medical emergency kit bag. No.
That's it was empty. Basically you open that up, program it, and then a robot comes out of it, and then it's an empty plastic case.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, for now, I'll gather what I can hold. I feel like I'll eat a little bit now too if I'm finding things to eat.
Yep, absolutely. So you kind of take some food, eat a couple of things on your way, and I think you have an armload of just a few supplies maybe that you're kind of.
I mean, if I can find the bag, I will at that point. Be like, look, crap, bag would be good.
I'll say you find a plastic bag somewhere, probably
like a potato sack or something.
In a laboratory.
I mean, there's food here, so is someone cooking, or are they ordering pre-made meals?
I think it's all from vending machines. There's no kitchen up here.
Shit.
You have chips and crackers and soda and energy drink and
Okay, so I'll grab whatever bag someone has around.
Yeah, maybe it's a company tote. It's Prometheus Ascendant of the future. The future is now. So you have some stuff.
Whatever's there,
but you both start making your way. Otto's wiping your mouth. You got blood. And you see light for the first time. I think that in your memories, it's hard to parse. Otto, it's you've experienced this in other people's memories a little bit, but now it's really happening to your real form. The sun's rays kind of tickle your skin. You feel the warmth. Will, you feel this power within you resonating as you step out into a broken piece of corridor that seems to kind of lead into rubble that slopes upward and outward to a lip where you can start to see high-rise buildings, skyscrapers, bits of tree over the lip, and out of this pit of this lab.
Hello?
Is an armored, robotic looking, I think, weapon in a sense, as it moves with this deadly grace and opens a hand towards you, and you see a beam of red, pure light start to condense. I think you feel how deadly this attack is going to be. And then you hear Dr. Mario Hiroyuko go, "Get out of here! You won't interfere with any of my experiments!" And Hiroyuko is going to literally superhero stance fly down and knock this winged soldier away. And then he's going to look in your direction and go, "Stay right there a moment," and fly forward. You see, he basically is like body swirling with a purplish energy, and his hair, the gray hair, is like standing up on end as he like does, like you hear just like crashing and booming, and then he walks back out in front of you. His hair falls back down around his face. Maybe he kind of looks almost exactly like this photo, the clouds in the background. Hello, experiments. It's nice to see you. I'm your final test. Roll initiative.
Wait, he's the final test or the robot's the
What?
final test?
He said he's your final test.
Okay. Cool. Oh, 18.
11.
18 and 11. What do you get? Oh, actually, that's not how this works. It works by his level. I forgot how Cypher worked.
Mario Hiroyuko.
Pardon me while I figure this out. All right. He's going to go first as the both of you start to move. Oh, sorry. Yeah, neither of you have any skills or anything that would be used in initiative.
Not an initiative, I don't think.
So he, despite how fast everyone is moving, is faster. He kind of like gets up on his tiptoes for a second and almost like takes a boxing stance and then zooms forward. You see a streak of like that purple pinkish lightning behind him as he gets in. He goes, "Hi!" and goes for a punch straight to the head for Otto. You're gonna roll me. You can roll me a might defense, please.
Alrighty. Natural 20.
Oh, shit.
Wow. On a natural 20, I want you to tell me how you block this attack in a way that is going to put him off balance.
Ooh. So you were imagining that I'm in auto form, right?
I
In
was.
this moment. Okay. Can I change just enough in time so that like the tarantula face appears, and then I like quickly like clamp and release on his fist as it extends to me. So as he pulls it back, there's like two little
Marks.
holes in his hand.
Ooh. You do this, and you catch that hand, which he wasn't expecting, as he kind of rips the hand back out. The natural 20 just totally phases him, and he's only going to do 4 damage to you, as he still hits
4?
above a 20, unfortunately. But you greatly reduce the damage, and he kind of just stands there looking at his hand going, "That hurt." And Will, you see as the giant spider is just like like tossed over his shoulder onto the like behind you.
Right. Okay.
This comes from a pool of my choosing. The damage.
Your might, please.
From my mind. Okay.
Shit. I have to find this. Okay, so that was him starting. Because you've phased him, he's not going to do anything else this turn. So that's going to be amongst you, whoever wishes to go first.
It's up to you.
I think since you like flung me over, you can probably go first. I'm like scrambling to get back up.
All right. Look, would you mind if I put her down? She was one of your employees.
He just looks overboard at you. Goes, oh, I hadn't even noticed.
Okay. I'll release the Bjorn, I suppose. Put her down to the ground. So this, we need to do this, is what you're saying.
He looks at you quizzically.
We need to take this test of yours.
He just laughs. You think you can pass this test? You think that everything was just testing you all along? Fools.
Well, I mean, I did think they were testing us. I don't know for what, but the experiments were definitely testing something.
They're prodding you and poking you. Humanity's potential is limitless. I think all of you fail to see the big picture.
Very possible. But look, we've barely been out of this lab for 3 minutes. Some time to adjust to our surroundings would be appreciated. Because if not, well, we haven't used these abilities either. Not much.
Are you going to do anything other than speak with him?
I am. I'm trying to use the time that I'm speaking to like call up my flame. 'Cause I don't know how long it takes to like really get like a good. Because like again, I have an ability called Onslaught, which is an attack. And so like if the attack's physical, you emit a force blast. So like, I'm gonna like basically fireball them.
Mhm.
But like I don't know how long that takes for me to form, as again I haven't really used this like ability as an attack from my recollection. So I don't know how like readily available it is. Like while I'm talking, I'm kind of like I have my hand like behind me, and I'm trying to like just call up the flame.
I think that's what do you think in this moment, feeling the power of the sun start to kind of resonate with you, feeling freedom calling? Do you think that that power would be easier to hold, like to grasp, or would it be more
I
difficult?
think this is being the first time kind of uh I guess exposed to like actual sunlight since getting these powers. I feel like it helps. Like it warms up his body. Like he like his I guess condition is more optimal to actually produce the flame. The like yes, there's still that kind of stress of shit. Okay, he's serious. He just like knocked Otto on his ass. Like he means like we might die if we don't do something right now. And he's just trying to like call up enough flame to do anything against this person because he doesn't know like what kind of defenses this person might have or like abilities either, other than this super speed that you just saw. So I think it is going to be a bit easier. The stress is there. The sunlight is kind of helping just prep his body. But I'll leave the final decision up to you.
I think you start to shine with the power of that flame, and I think you innately realize what that resonance is, right? There's some sort of radiating power from that, that glow from that sun, and your power is something similar, and it's something that radiates from within, right? I think that sparks a little bit of understanding, and you call it forth, and it leaps to your call.
Okay. In that case, if it leaps to my call, it is 4 points of damage that it would inflict as I would like launch it towards him. It costs 1 intellect point to cast. However, I have an edge in intellect.
Perfect.
So it would be free.
Is there an attack roll associated with it?
It says you attack a foe within short range using energies that assail either his physical form or his mind. And that's it.
Yeah, so I think you have to roll an intellect roll to attack him.
Cool. Okay. In that case, an intellect roll. Ooh, 15.
15 does not hit.
Well,
and I'll have you remember the nat 20 defense still took a little bit of damage.
Yep.
And as your flame shoots out and you have that feeling of elation, you see the fire lick around him, and then pass over him. No. But Otto has a chance to react as well.
I just want to bite him from behind in the shoulder.
Yeah, so Will, as you speak and then throw that flame out, Otto's able to scurry behind, go for the bite, all within immediate range. So you go for that bite.
Would you like it to be?
Well, you're doing basically a might attack against him.
Yeah. I really want to suck blood out of him. I remain in my big spidery form, if that helps at all or hurts.
Right.
My might pool is not great, so I won't take anything from it. And I don't have anything else.
Do you have any asset or any?
Nope. I'm built to talk. But that's all right. The dice gods. Well, that means don't roll that one.
Dice god said, not that dice.
No, 3.
3.
Woo!
Your fangs kind of like hit his muscle, and he does that thing that you can do to mosquitoes where you bulge the muscle and you get kind of stuck. And he goes, good, I didn't have to go find you. And it's going to be his turn, and he is going to True mad scientist style. Just shout out, tectonic shock waves, and start vibrating as fast as he can. This is going to trigger localized earthquakes, and it is going to start collapsing pieces of the lab underneath you. But the both of you are caught in this kind of like area of effect near him. Please roll me might defense. Or actually, no, I shouldn't even say to roll unless either of you have training in might defense. You can't avoid this.
Nope.
I don't think so. Yeah, no, I have training in mental effects.
Then you are going to take 6 might damage.
Jesus.
My
Okay.
might pool is reduced to 0.
Okay. You still have your
just
speed.
Lung off him, and you see Otto impaired now, down from hail. A little weakened, a little bit difficult to rise. So Otto, you take some debuffs from being impaired.
+1.
I believe it's that things are a step harder to do.
Yeah.
And as Dr. Hiroyuko laughs, and you hear a scrabbling behind you. I'll see you all next week, or next time on Dimensionauts. Progenitors Bloodlines.
Shit.
What's happening?
Oh god. Oh god.
That's all, folks. I hope you enjoyed the show as much as I did. Our 2 progenitors this episode, you overcame the fallen doctor, you overcame the odd creature, and you overcame the hazardous lab. So I'll say that there's 3 XP to divide amongst yourselves.
I'll just take
And
1.
because you already have the extra experience.
Yeah.
From before. Okay, I'll grab 2 then.
Let's get 2.
Alrighty.
2 total experience. Very nice.
One day it'll be more of a discussion and argument.
When there's a few more XP and people are like, wait, I just need 1 to level up. Can I have 1? Yeah, absolutely. My goodness. Well, Hiroyuko is certainly going to be a problem.
Yep.
But that's a problem for
Next
next
time.
time. If you enjoyed the
Oh,
game,
boy.
follow us so that you're ready for our next episode. I don't know when it's going to be, but I do know that next week it should be Chittering Woods on Tuesday at 7 p.m. EST, so please don't miss it. You'll find more content, behind the scenes, and updates on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and Threads. Just look for @TheHexagonTTRPG. Take care. Keep rolling. See you next time in the Hexagon. We're the Hexagon, and we're Hexagon. Good night, everyone.
Bye.
Have a good one.